Hey everybody, sorry for the weird lighting. I've got a little computer, this camera's kind of glitchy. So I've got two things I want to cover in this video though, real quick for you. Excuse me. One of which is please see the course calendar. Everything is up to date. I apologize for getting spring break and the COVID week off screwed up, but there's a lot going on. And I know you know that because it's affecting you for sure. It's hitting me as well because all of my calendars are a mess. I've got kids and I've got my job and this stuff, and so um, I'm not looking to penalize anyone for stuff. If you've been keeping up, that's great. I've been trying to keep up and grade. Otherwise, let's start this week strong. That means Monday the 30th will count as the first day back ish, or however you want to phrase it. So everything will be due next weekend, like the 4th and 5th, and everything is already there. Um, the second thing, I've got a few questions regarding the Unit 2 paper and what does that mean, wanting some more explanation. So I don't know, I've rewritten this course 3 times, 4 times maybe in my life. I've been teaching it for, I don't know, 8 going on 10 years. And when I started, I used to really make the Unit 2 kind of a tough debate in class, and it was to look at resource distribution using two frameworks, either egalitarianism or libertarianism, sort of communism, capitalism kind of malarkey. Um, and it was fun. I mean, the debates always got interesting. I try to convey that into the online, and sometimes that worked not as well. And that's why now it's like a paper. And this is a little bit more theoretical in terms of, what do we think happens in this kind of allocation or government or distribution of resource kind of approach. That's what's really being asked. And I think where people are getting confused is the fancy language makes it less real. And I think right now we're living through the reality of what it means to have a finite, scarce resource that can be allocated in a number of different ways. So, I mean, you could even look at this internationally and realize that part of, even though China did not do super well at the beginning, um, their regime was able to mandate that companies begin making ventilators, and they mass produced them, and that saved a lot of lives, and it did a lot. It did mean the government had to force that. Right now, I mean, literally right now, March 29th, we're looking at similar kinds of language from the president, and we're looking at very similar resource issues when it comes to numbers of ventilators relative to the numbers of people who will probably need them. And if you don't do something at a large scale level of making this possible to treat people, you will have to make small scale decisions with individual lives and say, well, quite literally, I know you've been on a vent for 2 weeks. You're probably not coming off, and there's someone that needs the vent, and they may have a chance of coming off. And so we're taking it off you now. And there's probably not going to be a lot of room for appeal or argument or decision. If things go as bad as in Wichita, in this sort of local area, if things go as bad as they've gone in New York, we're going to wish we had someone either make a large scale push or do something very differently. And now, as I say that, I don't mean to indicate that I like communist systems or China's government or anything like that. I just mean this worries a lot of people. In fact, I was listening to a podcast where an economist who's a kind of a dyed-in-the-wool libertarian type of person even said, even economically, this is the time to cut checks and worry about how you pay for it later. Like, get the people fed, get them going, and they don't have jobs. This is unique. It's one of the things when I used to do that debate with people, it would come up, like use of the military to distribute the resource or to guard the resource. I mean, it got really weird. And what's funny is I look through my notes from those debates. We're doing a lot of it. Some of you I know work sort of on the front lines, so I hope you take care of yourself, not just in terms of the COVID, but one of the things that I'm on the ethics committee at Wesley. I've mentioned that, and we've already had a meeting, and I'm kind of on call, I suppose, if you want to put that way, for staff and others who may be going through some moral distress or compassion fatigue. We hope it doesn't get to that point, but at any rate, that's kind of what I'm looking for. How should we distribute resources? You're living through a real thing right now. Reflect on that. Other than that, look at the course calendar. Everything should be good to go. Thanks.